Well, the veteran international journalist and African affairs analyst Lindsay Barrett has just returned from a visit to Belema community, and he joins me now in the studio. Good to see you, Lindsay. Give us an idea of how much oil and gas Shell has produced from Belema, that Belema oil lease, over the past 40 years or so.
Well, actually, what I was told by people who should know is that the least that flow station has ever produced is 28,000 barrels per day. And that on an average, over a good year, every day 45,000 barrels of Bonny light crude emerged from there.
And of course that was when the flow station was actually functioning. Yes. What was the trigger or the final straw that led the people of Belema into occupying that flow station?
You see, the way I heard about the story was because I ran into a gentleman who was complaining to a friend that they had come, he had led a group of chiefs and other stakeholders to Abuja to discuss the federal government's partnership with Shell and whether they could pressure Shell to do more for the community. And I thought this was very strange, and I tried to find out who the gentleman was. Turned out he was one of the original signatories of the original Memorandum of Understanding. This interested me, of course, because to find a traditional ruler who had signed an agreement with Shell 40 years later, saying he was fed up.
Right, so given what you're saying, is it your sense that the people of Belema and other Niger Delta communities have come to a new level of enlightenment, which wasn't there, in the past, and which allowed Shell to ostensibly and allegedly get away with it for decades?
That's what it looks like to me. And I traveled there on my own to find out really what it looked like. The most important thing is that it seems that Shell and other majors operate at different levels. That place is very far away. Took me 4 hours to get there by boat from Port Harcourt, and it was very remote from other communities. And so it seems that the people of that area have not felt that they could actually pressure Shell into doing what it promised. And they feel isolated, and geographically they are isolated. But in recent years, local oil experts and local operatives have been doing certain things in the area. And I noticed in the opening remarks, you said they want the lease taken away and given to somebody else. That wasn't what they told me. What they said was, one, they would like an agreement signed with the community so that how Shell would operate
would be partly regulated
by their demands.
Okay, well, I tell you what, we've got an interview clip from one of the spokesmen of Belema community. Let's take a listen to that.
As I speak with you, as a leader of the young people in this society, young people in this nation, I decided to also come and witness what is actually happening. And I was very impressed because I saw my people. They are calm, they are peaceful, and their agitations are just one thing. Look, these people have stayed there for years. They don't have water, they don't have light, they don't have development, please, and they don't have employment. Can you please leave our land based on your lease has been expired? I think it's not a big deal. The federal government, per se, should weigh into the matter and take a decision.
Well, that's a spokesman for Belema community there. Well, what has been Shell's reaction? Because obviously we have to balance this and look at both sides. Are they slightly more worried by all this? Are they likely to pay more attention now as a result of these protests?
Well, I would hope so, but I have tried to make contact with Shell, and the few times I got through, they told me they had it under control. But what we've heard, and this is a rumor, is that Shell wants to divest from
entirely from that area,
from that particular flow station, and face and be more attached to offshore operations and so on. And so that some people in Belema suspect that Shell is looking for a partner who they will pass the buck on to,
right,
and say, well, it's a Nigerian company or something. And what has happened, where the idea of Belema Oil came in, there's a small company called Belema Oil that operates and is operating a former Chevron flow station. And what they have done in terms of corporate responsibility is quite interesting in the town of Kula.
So that's possibly why these guys are saying, well,
I think
give it to us, basically.
They have been provoked and enlightened by seeing what a small company can do.
Okay, well, there were, of course, as you know, Lindsay, feisty protests when all this started. Let's listen to some of the protesters and get a sense of what they were actually saying there.
Shell to leave our land. Shell cannot be operating in Belema land for over 30-something years, and no one graduate. Shell has never employed any graduate from Belema land, so they cannot remain in our land. Shell must leave our land. I've been graduate for over 8 years. I cannot be roaming the streets of Belema.
Our women, we are suffering. We want Shell to go away from us. They should go away. We don't need them again. Belema women, we are suffering. People that have something like this, look at us. SMSF not there. England not there. Nothing there for us to do again. So we are suffering. We want Belema women to enjoy. Let's tell people go away. We don't need them. We don't suffer. We need water. We need roads. No scholarship. We need many things. See parents, they worry us. We need to go another village again. So we want our rights. If they don't settle us, let them go. We don't say anything. Yeah, we don't suffer. We don't suffer. All our people don't die finish. Nothing there. So if you don't give us salary, no roads, no water, no nights, let them go. We want to take back our oil.
And that's a cross-section of the protesters in Belema community there, obviously very distraught and considerable anger displayed there. And Lindsay, you've just come from there. Of course, there are no guarantees that the community will get what they want. Why can't they go to court?
Well, the main reason, I think, is because, as you can see, Charles, we are seeing really this time, it's not the militants, the organized, educated militants, it's the ordinary people. So it is possible that they don't have the resources and they don't have the knowledge of what to do. I think that what may eventually happen is that people who have more expertise in this may offer services to Belema, which, of course, some people may say that's coming from outside. But the truth is what you're seeing is real. The people are tired.
Lindsay, thank you very much indeed. And that's an excellent report and first-hand sort of knowledge and description of what's going on in that Belema community. Lindsay Barrett, the international journalist and African affairs analyst.